So hey students, today we are going to do some MCQs and one word question answers. Match the following and true and false from locomotion and movements. Okay, so muscle is a specialized tissue of mesodermal origin. Muscles have special properties like excitability, contractibility and elasticity. Three types of muscles are skeletal, visceral and cardiac. Skeletal muscles are loosely associated with skeletal components of the body. Skeletal muscles have a stripped appearance under the microscope and hence called as striated. Name the muscle which are closely related with the locomotory actions and changes in body posture. It's skeletal muscles. Visceral muscles are located in inner walls of the viscera, like my stomach, okay, intestine. So visceral muscles are present there of the body, like the alimentary canal, reproductive tract, etc. They do not exhibit any striations and are in smooth in appearance. Smooth muscles are also called involuntary muscles. Why? Because they are not under the voluntary control of nervous system. Name the muscles which assist in transportation of food through the digestive tract and gametes through the genital tract. Smooth muscles, involuntary muscles. Okay, when I will sleep, digestion is going on inside my digestive system, so it is involuntary in functions. I can't control that. I can't say that it digest the food for me. It will digest itself by its own. Based on the appearance, cardiac muscles are striated. Each Each organized skeletal muscle in our body is made up of number of muscle bundles or fascicles of held together by a common collagenous connective tissue called fascia. What is sarcolemma? Sarcolemma, plasma membrane of muscle fiber, is called sarcolemma. Storehouse of calcium muscle fiber is endoplasmic reticulum. A characteristic features of muscle fiber is the presence of large number of parallelly arranged filaments in the sarcoplasm called myofibrils or myofilaments. Light bands of muscular fiber consist of filaments called actin, whereas dark bands consist of filaments called myosin. Fill in the blanks with the suitable words. Actin filaments are thinner as compared to the myosin filament and are hence commonly called as thin and thick filaments. Like when I draw this and when I draw this. So this is actin, thin, and this is your myosin, which is thick. Okay. In the center of each eye band there is an elastic fiber called Z-line. Fill in the blanks with suitable words. The thick filament of A band are also held together in the middle of this band by a thin fibrous membrane called M-line. And A and I bands are arranged alternately throughout the length of myofibrils. The portion of the myofibrils between two successive Z-lines is considered as functional unit of contraction and is called a sarcomere. Let these are Z-lines. So this is what called sarcomere. Okay, this is your myosin, this is your actin. Okay, and this one is the H zone. How we can define H zone? H zone is the zone where the myosin is not overlapped by the actin or the thick filament is not overlapped by the thin filament. Okay. In the center of each eye band is an inelastic fiber called Gelline. We have seen it earlier. Okay, now fill in the blanks with suitable words. Each actin thin filament is made up of two filamentous actins helically wound to each other. Each F-actin is a polymer of monomeric G-globular actins. Two filaments of each protein, tropomyosin, also run close to F-actins throughout its length. A complex protein, troponin, is distributed at regular intervals of the tropomyosin. In the resting state, a sub submit of troponin masks the active binding site for actin on the for myosin on the actin filaments. 1 minute. If this is the structure, so this is the troponin, okay, and it masks the active site for the myosin on the actin. Label A, B, C in the in the given figure. Here, 1 minute. A is the fascia, B is the muscle fiber, C is sarcolemma, and D is blood capillaries. B is muscle fibers and C is sarcolemma and D is blood capillaries. You can learn it by when a muscle fiber is surrounded, then it is called epiperi and endomysium. So it's endomysium, and when such more muscle fiber are, then it's endoperi and epimysium, and this is epimysium. Okay, okay, so you can see here that troponin has masks the active site for myosin on the actin, and these are tropomyosins, and this is a F actin. Okay, actin binding sites and ATP binding sites, head and cross arms, an actin filament and a myosin monomer, meromyosin, and this is actin. Mechanism of muscle contraction is best explained by sliding filament theory by Huxley and Huxley. Give only the statement of sliding filament theory. Okay. Contraction of a muscle fiber takes place by sliding of thin filament over the thick. Thin over thick. Okay. A is H zone. A is H zone, B is your I band, and C is A band, D is relaxed state, and E is Z line, G is Z line, Z is what Z line, and F is your Z line, H is your contracting, and I is maximally contracted. Okay, so let me draw. 1 minute. Okay, what type of movement seen in amoeba? Streamy movement of protoplasm. Cells of the human body exhibit three main types of movements: amoeboid, ciliary, and muscular. About 50% of the body weight of human adult is contributed by muscles. 40 to 50% of our weight is contributed by the muscles. Okay. Stripped appearance. closely associated with the fine skeletal components of the body and involved in locomotory actions. Okay, visceral movements located in inner walls of the hollow visceral organs of the body and transportation of food as in our digestive tract. Cardiac muscles, muscles of the heart and are contraction and relaxation of heart. They never get fatigue. वो कभी थकते ही नहीं है. हमारे हार्ट अगर थक जाए तो हम पंप कहाँ से करेंगे, आपको पता है. Muscle fiber is a syncytium as the sarcoplasm contains many nuclei. Name the two important protein due to which striated appearance is seen in myofibrils is actin and myosin. Name the protein found in isotropic and anisotropic bands of the myofibrils. It's actin and myosin. Name the main source of energy during muscle contraction. It is glycogen. Dark bands of myofibrils are known as anisotropic band. Muscle contraction is initiated by a signal sent by the central nervous system. The functional unit of contraction seen in stripped muscle is sarcomere. Sarcomere. Okay. Contraction of muscle is caused by actomyosin. During muscle contraction, chemical energy is converted into mechanical energy. The distance or length of the myofibrils between two adjacent Gelline is called sarcomere. Okay. In relaxed state, H zone, a lighter region of low density, can be seen in the center of A band. Okay. Now the another segment of the locomotion and movement skeletal system we will see here. The skeletal system consists of framework of bones and cartilages. Bones and cartilages. How many bones are found in axial skeleton is 80. The axial skeleton consists of 80 bones distributed along the main axis of the body. The skull, vertebral column and ribs constitute the axial skeleton. The skull consists of two sets of bone, cranial and facial. Cranial contains 8 and facial contains 14 bones. F for facial and F for 14. Okay. How many bones are found in human cranium is 8. Name the U-shaped bone present in the base of the skull is hyoid bone. Each middle ear consists of three tiny bones called malleus, incus, stapes, and collectively called as ear ossicles. The skull region articulates with superior region of the vertebral column with the help of two occipital condyles. Type of skull found in human beings is dicondylic. Type of skull found in human beings is dicondylic. How many bones are found in human vertebral column is 26. First vertebrae is atlas, in which pivot atlas axis pivot joint is found. Synovial type of variety. Name the central hollow portion in vertebra through which the spinal cord passes is neural canal. Spinal cord passes through neural canal. The number of cervical vertebrae are 7 in almost all mammals including human beings. We are having 7 cervical vertebrae. Sternum is the flat bone on the mid ventral line of the thorax. Write the function of vertebral column. Protection of the spinal cord, support the head, serves as a point of attachment for ribs and musculature of the back. Ribs are dorsally attached with the vertebral column and ventrally with the sternum. Like if this is your body, so this one is called ventral. 1 minute. If this is your body, so this is ventral, and this back portion which is dorsal. Dorsal is back and ventral is front. Okay. Each forelimb consists of 30 bones. The bones of the limb along with their girdle constitute appendicular skeletal. Ribs are dorsally attached with the vertebral column and ventrally with the sternum. The bones of the forelimb along with their girdles constitute the appendicular skeleton. Longest and strongest bone of the human body is femur. A cup-shaped bone is called patella, cover the knee ventrally. Each half of pectoral girdle consists of clavicle and a scapula. Name the type of joint between following atlas and 1 minute. Between atlas and axis is pivot joint. Okay. Carpal and metacarpals of thumb saddle joint. Between phalanges is hinge variety, and femur and acetabulum ball and socket joint. Between cranial bones sutures, and between pubic bone of the pelvic girdle, pubic symphysis. Okay, learn all this. Atlas and axis pivot joint, carpal metacarpal of thumb saddle joint. Between phalanges is hinge joint, femur and acetabulum ball and socket joint. Between cranial bones sutures, between pubic bones in the pelvic girdle is pubic symphysis. Okay. Fill in the blank spaces. All mammals except few have 7 cervical vertebrae. True. The number of phalanges in each limb of a human are 14. 11th and 12th pair of ribs are called floating ribs. 11th and 12th are floating ribs. The human cranium is made up of 8 bones. Right, true or false? Arthritis is inflammation of joint. True. Osteoporosis is age-related disorder characterized by decrease in bone mass and increased characteristics of fracture. True. Gout is an inflammation of joints due to accumulation of accumulation of uric acid crystals in the bone leads to gout. Name the age-related disorder characterized by decrease in bone mass and increased chances of fracture. Osteoporosis. In joints, the bone involved are joined together with help of cartilage. The joint between the adjacent vertebrae in the vertebral column is of this pattern and it permits limited movement is cartilaginous. Synovial joints are characterized by presence of fluid-filled synovial cavity between the articular surface of the bones. Cervical 7, thoracic 12, lumbar 5, sacral 5. Actually, they join to form 1, and coccyx 4 and join to form 1 bone. Okay. Vertebral ribs 14 vertebral 1 minute. There are 26 pair of okay. Now vertebrosternal are 14, vertebrochondral are 6, and floatings are 4. Number these are, and when we talk about pair, then vertebrochondral will be 3 and floating ribs will be 2 and vertebrosternal ribs will be 7. Okay, 1 minute, I will write. 1 to 7 are true, 8 to 10 are false, and 11 12 are floating. Okay. Humerus is 1 bone. Carpals are 8 in number. Metacarpals are 5 and phalanges are 14 in number. Humerus is 1 bone, like my shoulder joint. This one which forms my arm, and carpals are 8 in number, my wrist, and metacarpals 5, this, and phalanges are 14, my fingers, thumb 2, and these all are having 3. Okay, so femur is a single bone, so 1. Tarsals are 7 in number, metatarsals are 5 in number, and phalanges are 14. So here you have to learn only the tarsals, which are 7, and in our hand the wrist joint, which is having 8 bones: femur, patella, tarsals and phalanges. Longest and strongest bone of the body is femur, also called kneecap is patella, tibia and fibula. And see, these are 7 in number, as you know it's tarsals, and D consists of hinge joint is phalanges. Phalanges contains hinge variety of joint, synovial. Okay, so cervical 7, thoracic 12, lumbar 5, sacral 5, coccyx 1, 4 to 1, sacrum and coccyx. Intervertebral disc, cervical vertebrae, thoracic vertebrae, lumbar vertebrae, intervertebral disc, sacrum and coccyx. Frontal bone, sphenoid bone, ethmoid bone, lacrimal bone, nasal bone, zygomatic bone, maxilla and mandible, hyoid bone, occipital condyle, occipital bone, temporal bone and parietal bone. Okay, that's the end of the slide, and I wish all of you all the best for NEET 2021. Okay, all the best. Let's crack the NEET 2021 with me.